Hi guys, Ben Coupe here from Martin & Coupe Chiropractic. Do you ever notice that the longer you sit, the more your body wants to slump? And in turn, that increases the aches and pains through your neck, your shoulders, your back, your lower back? Well, what we're going to go through today is teach you some of the key principles of how to sit upright without any effort, and as a consequence, reduce those aches and pains that come from prolonged sitting. Stick around. Now, when talking about sitting correctly, people will make the assumption that it requires effort. I'm here to tell you that that is wrong. Getting a seat to work for you should do a number of things. Number one, it should hold you up without effort. It should do the job for you rather than you having to require strength and effort on your behalf. Number two, it should reduce pain and tension immediately in your body. And number three, for those who are undergoing care in our practice, actually protect your spine and prevent you from creating further problems. So let's get stuck into it. Whenever we're testing the quality of the seat we're sitting in, we're going to do this by allowing our body to relax completely. This is going to allow us to assess exactly what that seat is doing. I'm not interested in you holding yourself upright. I'm actually very interested in what the seat is doing to you. Is it holding you upright, or are you having to hold yourself? Let me demonstrate what I mean and how we're going to test it. So I'll do this on myself. I'm going to sit on this little stool here, and I'm going to do what we call a slump test, or a resting posture test. I'm going to take a breath in, I'm going to relax, and I'm going to allow my body to fully give in. Let me show you. Now, that may look like I'm faking it, but that is me actively letting my body completely relax. Let me show you again. Now, I'm sure it's pretty obvious how much my posture wants to crunch in there. I round very excessively through there, and I can tell you it's quite compressive. I can't breathe as well. I certainly feel a lot of pressure that runs down through my spine. So, immediately we know this seat is no good for me. It's not helping me. And I would feel the need to have to hold myself into a more upright position, which inevitably is going to create a lot of tension through the muscles that I need to use for that. And that in itself is going to create aches and pains throughout the day. But there are things we can do to improve this. Step number one is we're going to use a gradient. So I'm going to use one of these seat wedges. We sell these in our office. You can use a towel, just fold it up in the way that kind of mimics this seat wedge. And essentially all we're looking to do is create a seat that's a little higher at the back and a little lower at the front. Okay? So I'm going to put this underneath my bum. I'm going to sit in the same position. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. One more time, just so everyone can see. Now, I'm sure it's immediately obvious to you how much my posture improves. Now, again, I'm actively letting my body relax. I'm trying to not hold up, but you can see the seat wedge is helping to prop me up. It works on the natural lever system of our body to help brace and hold me into an upright position despite me actively letting all the effort go, okay? Now, that's step one. Next step, you'll see that my posture was better, but it still wasn't perfect. The next step involves upping the height of my hips. So basically increasing the height of the seat that I'm sitting on so that my hips come higher than my knees. That's the key principle. I'll just repeat that. Hips higher than knees. Okay? So what I'm going to use is some textbooks here. You don't have to use textbooks. You just need to use something that lifts the height of the seat you're sitting on. Some seats will do that themselves. But just for the principle of understanding it, I'm going to pop this underneath the seat that I'm sitting on, put my wedge on top, and do exactly the same thing again. Now, you should notice that looks a little bit better again. I'm not slumping as much, I'm not rounding as much. It certainly feels more comfortable on my behalf. Let's go again. Again, feels more upright without any effort. The principle here is keep going until you feel like you've gone too high. Now I can tell you that's starting to feel pretty good. I certainly feel like I'm really holding myself into a much more upright position, again, despite letting my body fully relax. Now, this will be difficult to observe, but you will feel it in your own body. That actually made me a little bit worse again. Now, it was still good. It's still much better than no textbooks at all. But that height tipped me over the edge. I went into the too high. How did I know? I started to feel a little bit unbalanced, a little bit of a wobble in my body. So I've crossed over the line. Now I know, okay, I need to whittle back down and find just the right height for me. So I'm going to take that last lift away. Certainly feels better there than the previous one. But what I'm going to do is just add a few layers of towel. So that's like a in between the two layers kind of zone. Better, but I'm going to add a little bit more. So I'm just folding the towel over on itself. I can tell you this is getting pretty damn close to where I want to be, okay? Now, we could fine tune a little bit further, but I think you get the point. At this point in time, my body definitely feels like it's holding itself up rather than me having to hold it up. I feel like I can breathe a lot fuller and deeper. That's something you should be looking for. And I certainly feel there's a much less tension and pain and much less pressure that's going down through the muscles and the joints within my spine. If I had a choice of sitting on this seat or the one previously all day long, I can tell you that I'd be picking this one in a heartbeat. So we're applying now the principles that we've learnt here, which is use a gradient, hips higher than the knees, fine-tune to exactly the height you need to be. We're going to take that and we're going to apply that to other environments, okay? One thing before we go, in regards to what happens back here, the back support, your focus should be on what you're sitting on, not what this does. The purpose of back support is not to brace and hold you up. It should be doing very little. This should be doing the job. That should be supporting the job you've done. One thing I have to admit is demonstrating this and these key principles on that seat are a little bit easier than when you have to apply that to a normal environment, whether that be the car, the couch, the office. So I'm going to encourage you to click on the links we've got where we actually troubleshoot those specific environments. I'm sure you'll get a lot out of it.